Time, the relentless river that flows forward, unyielding and absolute. But what happens when human ambition dares to build a dam against that current? Meet Daniel Crowe, a man who will soon learn that time is not a tool to be wielded, but a force to be feared. His journey begins with curiosity and ends with the echo of a warning ignored. This is Twisted Realities, a collection of bizarre tales. This episode, The Clockwork Paradox. Daniel Crowe sat in the dim glow of his basement laboratory, eyes locked on the wrist-worn chronometer he had meticulously crafted over a decade. The Chronopulse, a sleek metallic device with a glowing blue core, promised the impossible: time travel. It was a promise that had consumed his life, his marriage, and his sanity. But tonight, it would all be worth it. He activated the device and set the date, October 12th, 1994, the day his sister Emily died in a hit-and-run accident. "Hold on, Em," he whispered. "I'm coming." A pulse of energy surged through his body. The world dissolved into a kaleidoscope of fractured moments, like shards of a broken mirror. When the dizziness cleared, Daniel stood on a familiar street under an autumn sky. Across the road, 10-year-old Emily Crowe stood clutching a book bag, oblivious to the black sedan speeding toward her. "Emily, stop!" Daniel screamed. The girl froze, tires screeched. Daniel lunged forward and tackled her to the ground as the sedan raced past. "Are you okay?" he asked. Wide-eyed, Emily nodded. Daniel hugged her tightly. But as he held her, he noticed something strange. The world around them seemed off, colors slightly muted, air unnaturally still. And then Emily spoke. "You shouldn't have done that," she said, her voice hollow. Daniel's heart skipped. "What?" "You disrupted the timeline. Time doesn't like that." Emily's eyes turned glassy, and her mouth turned into a distorted grin. "Time will correct itself." Before Daniel could react, the ground shuddered. A deafening crack split the air. The street crumbled beneath them, revealing an abyss swirling with clockwork gears and whispering voices. Daniel grabbed Emily's hand. "Run!" They sprinted through a warping landscape as time unraveled. Buildings twisted like wax, cars hovered mid-collision, and ghostly figures flickered in and out of existence. At the end of the street stood a door suspended in midair. Daniel yanked it open and pushed Emily through. He followed, slamming it shut behind them. They were back in his basement. The chronopulse sparked on his wrist. "We made it," Daniel gasped. Emily stood motionless, eyes vacant. "Em?" She tilted her head. "Time adapts, Daniel." Her body convulsed, her skin cracked like porcelain, revealing clockwork gears beneath. "A life was meant to be taken that day." Daniel stepped back. "No!" The gears in Emily's chest whirred and ground to a halt. She collapsed into a pile of metal and dust. The chronopulse beeped. Daniel looked down. October 12th, 1994. He was back on that street again. Emily stood on the corner. The black sedan approached. "No!" he shouted, rushing to her, but his legs wouldn't move. Invisible hands held them in place. He screamed as the sedan struck Emily with a sickening thud. The world faded into darkness. Daniel awoke in his basement. The chronopulse fused to his wrist, its core a dead, blackened husk. His phone buzzed. The date read October 13, 2024. He tried to leave the basement, but the door wouldn't budge. The window showed only an endless void filled with gears turning in silent judgment. The radio crackled to life with a familiar, hollow voice. "Time corrects its debts, Daniel. A life was spared, and another was claimed. You are the cost." Daniel screamed into the mechanical abyss. Time, An impartial arbiter grants no favors and forgives no trespasses. Daniel Crowe sought to master its mysteries and paid the ultimate price, a prisoner of his own ambition, locked in a moment never meant to be. For those who dare challenge the clock, remember, time does not break. It bends and takes what it is owed. This was Twisted Realities. If you enjoyed this episode, please make sure you click subscribe, and you can always support the podcast by clicking the Ko-fi link in the description. Thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next episode.